Hello everyone, and welcome to the Stoic Men Tribe. This is not just a podcast, not just a video. This is a space where men return to their center, where we leave behind the noise, the masks, the endless need to be everything to everyone. Here, we speak plainly, look inward, and walk the path of strength, character, and truth. Share your thoughts in the comment. Do us a favor by hitting the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Today, I want to talk about something that is slowly, quietly, killing too many men from the inside. Living for others, the invisible cage, the hidden burden, the silent killer of purpose and peace. How many of us are living lives that we never chose? How many of us are stuck in routines, careers, relationships, and roles that were designed by someone else, shaped by someone else's expectations, or imposed by society without our permission? It starts early. You're told to be a certain way, to follow a path, to be respectable, to make your family proud, to provide, to sacrifice, to succeed, but in a way that looks good to others. You're taught to measure yourself by how well you perform in their world, how well you fit into their boxes. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start to disappear. Your opinions become echoes. Your decisions are driven by approval. Your dreams shrink into the corners of your mind, waiting for permission that never comes. And worst of all, you smile. You smile to keep the peace, to keep the image, to keep things from falling apart. But inside, there's a growing silence, a frustration you can't quite name, a feeling that something is wrong, that this life you've built might be sturdy, but it's not yours. Let me tell you a story. In ancient Rome, there was a man named Marcus. He was a craftsman, born into a family of sculptors. His father was strict, demanding perfection. His brothers followed in the same line of work, and so, naturally, Marcus was expected to do the same. He carved statues, ornate and detailed, and his work was praised in the markets. Senators visited his shop. His father beamed with pride. But Marcus? He was dying inside, because his heart didn't belong to stone. His mind wandered into philosophy, language, the study of the human soul. At night, while his family slept, he would write thoughts in secret, questions about life, about virtue, about death and desire. He hid his scrolls beneath the floorboards. Years passed, and then one night, Marcus stood at his workshop bench, chisel in hand, staring at yet another half-finished statue. He realized something. He had lived 35 years, and not one of those years belonged to him. So he put the chisel down. He walked away, left the business, left the family's praise, left the markets. He found work copying texts at a quiet monastery, lived in a tiny room, rode every morning before the sun rose. People mocked him. You had success, they said. You had a name. But Marcus smiled, not because life was easy, but because he was finally free. He lived poor, died unknown. But centuries later, when ruins were being uncovered near the edge of the Tiber River, archaeologists found fragments of parchment with his thoughts. Raw, honest, timeless. Today, those thoughts are studied by philosophers under the name The Voice from the Edge. He lost the world, but found his soul. And that brings me back to you. What life are you living? Be honest. How many of your decisions are based on what others expect? How much of your day is driven by fear of judgment? How much of your life is spent pretending to want things you don't? You see, living for others is seductive. It gives you applause. It gives you approval. It gives you belonging. But it robs you of peace. You wake up tired, not just from work, but from the performance. You become a ghost with a title, a mannequin with a schedule, a stranger in your own body. The Stoics were clear. They taught us that the only true freedom comes from living in accordance with nature, your nature. That means your values, your purpose, your truth. Not your father's expectations, not your boss's praise, not your culture's definition of success. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because the world laughs when you walk away from the script, when you stop being predictable, when you stop trying to impress them. But that laughter is the sound of your chains breaking. You must be willing to disappoint others in order to be loyal to yourself. You must be willing to be misunderstood, to walk alone, to leave behind applause and comfort and admiration. If those things are built on lies, you are not here to fulfill someone else's fantasy of who you should be. You are here to become a man of depth, a man of integrity, a man whose inner world is stronger than the outer noise. So what do? First, get honest. Write down the parts of your life that you're living for someone else. Be brutal. Name the job, the habits, the fake friendships, the expectations you inherited. Don't justify them. Just name them. Then, take action. Start with one thing. One lie you can stop telling. One habit you can break. One no you can say. One boundary you can build. Start there. Then, spend time alone. This world is so loud, filled with scrolling, clicking, performing. But solitude is the place where you meet yourself again. In silence, the truth speaks. In silence, you remember what you once loved, what used to move you, what you wanted before the world told you what to want. Rebuild from there, and most of all, decide what kind of man you want to become. Not what title he has, not how much he earns, but what he stands for, how he handles pain, how he treats others, how he responds to fear, how he lives when no one is watching. Because at the end of your life, you won't be judged by your followers, or your resume, or your social status. You'll be judged by your soul. Did you live true, or did you perform your way through life? You don't need permission to change. You don't need approval to begin. You just need courage. The courage to be real, to stop living for others, to come home to yourself. That's what we do here in the Stoic Men tribe. We are not perfect, but we are honest. We are not loud, but we are strong. We are not chasing trends. We are building character. If you're ready to stop performing and start living, if you're ready to walk alone, if it means walking in truth, then welcome. You've found your place. Now go. Start becoming the man you were born to be. Not for them. For you. For truth. For the legacy your soul was meant to leave behind. Welcome to the tribe.